win on Sunday, you sell on Monday. A simple tenet of racing. And it is just this belief which is found at the core of today's tilt in Springfield, Missouri. Except in a monster truck race, such a boardroom challenge may best be described as a junkyard brawl. This is Trucks and Tractor Power, featuring the all-stars of the Penda Monster Truck Thunder Drag Series. Today, it's the Penda Monster Truck Thunder Drag from the Ozark Empire Fairgrounds here in Springfield, Missouri. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Lee, and welcome to Trucks and Tractor Power on the Nashville Network. In monster truck competition, the manufacturer's rivalry has long been between Ford and Chevrolet. The Chevy trucks like USA 1 and the Carolina Crusher and Taurus battling the Ford Bigfoof for the World Championship every season. But this year, the Chrysler Corporation is jumping into the fray. And tonight, they may have arrived. Here with more on that story is my colleague, Armstrong.
Gary, when the season started, Ford Motor Company, Bob Chandler and his operation literally had a lock on the monster truck field. But Chrysler Corporation, Dodge Truck Division, they saw that the exposure that these monster trucks were getting on the Nashville network. They decided to step up and play handball with these guys, and man, they're playing it in a big way. We're going to call the Dodge guys the Three Amigos because there's three Dodge trucks on the circuit led by Fred Schaefer who really are starting to pull in these Fords. We're going to rotate over into the next round. I thought you might be interested in the countdown on the manufacturers. You got one Chevy, two Fords, and three Dodges. That's what's going down for the second round. Back to you, Gary Lee.
Well, Army, let's get right to the highlights. Now, chalk up one for Ford, your quick qualifier tonight. No big surprise, Andy Brass in Wildfoot.
Yeah, Brass with the new chassis, the new driver combination really seems to have a lock on this quick qualifying.
Well, that would set up a matchup between Andy Brass in the far lane and Dan RUNTE, the near lane, driving Bigfoot. Now, RUNTE is subbing for Gene Patterson, who was suffering from heat exhaustion last week. We'll talk with Gene later on in the show about his condition. But here Brass takes out his Bigfoot teammate. For Dodge, the best entry was a bit of a surprise. Ken DEPPE in the Dodge Express, who we saw make it to the semis last week, was third quick in qualifying. But watch this tough landing. Ken would meet up with Wayne SMOZANEK in round one. Now, we'd like to point out we'll be bringing you shots from our crush cam tonight. It's coming up momentarily. There it is as DEPPE would advance. SMOZANEK red lighted and was DQ'd. We like to put cameras everywhere. Tonight we have one in the cab with Fred Schaefer's barefoot. Here's Fred going on one of his patented burnouts. Round one, Fred would draw the Executioner Chevrolet of Mark Hall. Fred goes on to round two. Hall goes on the trailer. What great shots from inside the cab of the big Dodge Barefoot. The second fastest qualifier was the Snakebite Ford, driven by Colt COBRA.
Now, Colt COBRA qualified in the heat of the day, lay down that second quick time, but that'll pay off dividends later on in the evening when the pairings come down, Gary.
Well, speaking of the pairings, the Colt would take on Brian Welch in moving violation in round one. Welch in the near lane.
I haven't seen that much of Welch on the tour this year, so Colt COBRA basically had an easy run in that first round.
So it's time to drop the gloves and get ready for the junkyard brawl here in the Ozark Empire Fairgrounds. Round two action coming up right after these messages. Welcome back to the Ozark Empire Fairgrounds here in Springfield, Missouri for the Penda Monster Truck Thunder Drags. Gary Lee along with Armstrong. During the break, Gene Patterson and Andy Brass were walking the track. Now, you'll notice Gene's wearing the garb of a crew member and not a driving suit. As you'll recall, Gene was suffering from heat exhaustion in Bloomsburg, was not able to run the finals a week ago. Earlier, Army spoke with Gene about the status of his condition.
Gary, normally when we're doing an interview with Gene Patterson, he's wearing his RJS driver safety suit. But, Gene, not the case tonight. You took a pretty big lick last week. What are you doing, just sitting out for a week or so?
Yeah, we're just kind of standing on the ground. We're really watching the truck. We put Dan RUNTE in the truck this weekend. Last weekend I had some real bad luck. It was real hot outside. Along with the RJS fire suits, it put about 115 degrees inside the cab, and I suffered some heat exhaustion. Bob Chandler wanted me to set out for the Ford Bigfoot team and maybe watch what the truck's doing and maybe get a better feel of what the truck's doing. Dan's doing a good job. You know, I can't say enough. And with the help of Racing Electronics and the radio systems, we're keeping in close communications and we're doing a good job.
Hey, Gene, congratulations on being a new father. The father of Shelby Jean, daughter and mother Susan are doing just fine. Pairings now for our second round. Wildfoot against the Monster Patrol, the Dodge Express and Magnum Force, and Barefoot will take on Snakebite.